So you should be the host, so now you can see the waiting room.
Right. Okay. Keith, can you hear me okay?
Much better.
Okay, good, because I'm not using the phone, I'm using the computer, but it's for somehow it healed itself. I like when that happens. So
Hello.
Hi,
How are you?
Just so you know.
who's saying that?
Julia.
Hi, okay. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 members of the committee waiting on, who the heck is Boss Guy? Anybody know who Boss Guy is?
Isn't that Keith?
Is that you, Keith? Oh, yeah, okay, there he is. I got it.
Oh, that's from my staff meeting at work.
Wise guy.
Yeah, I wonder who was in charge of that meeting. So Julia, we're just waiting for a couple minutes here to see if either Shirley Phillips and or Mike Flaherty come in.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, we still have 5 participants.
I'm sorry, what did you say? You wanted 7?
Julie, I only do this as a hobby. I'm not too good with Zoom.
Someone count one more time. We get 2 steps out of 1.
Lisa, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. And Keith, you're still with me?
Hey, while we're waiting, John, a question. We cannot be an elected town official and be on this committee, right?
Right, the charter says that if you are an elected official, you cannot serve on any of the appointed bodies, right?
Somebody asked me to do a write-in campaign for the library board of trustees, and since I'm the only person in Bridgewater ever to lose an election for the library board of trustees.
I don't know what the draw is to that.
Look, even Katie was laughing at that.
Well, remember we interviewed Mrs. Reed for the Board of Health. She was a retired Army captain nurse. And we got her appointed to the Board of Health. And then like 4 months later, she resigned that so she could run for the Board of Library Trustees. And she got elected. I think she was on the poll. Whatever.
I don't want to give up this spot, so I'm
Yeah.
respectfully decline.
And then I see you.
I would have, if I could have done it and stay on here, I would have done it.
Right. You can serve on 2 bodies.
My luck, I would have had 3 write-in votes and somebody else would have had 4.
Stop it.
Okay.
That's because you root for the wrong hockey team.
Ready to go, John? Julie might have somewhere better to go.
I thought I just let Shirley in.
I think, yeah, she's in.
There she,
You did.
there she is. Okay. Hello, Shirley. So, Julie, as you can see on your screen, we have Shirley Phillips. She's a charter member of this committee, about 10 years now.
Okay.
Keith Buell, Lisa Bazell Curley, myself, and absent is Mike Flaherty. Does everybody still hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, who just dropped out? Oh, okay. Katie hands the meeting over to me. She has to start it because my name isn't on the town license. And she also is, all of these Zoom meetings are recorded. They aren't recorded when we meet in person, but for some reason, this whole thing with Zoom and the open meeting law, this meeting is being recorded. So with that, Julia, welcome. Why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a few things about yourself.
Sure. I am a mom of two. We moved to Bridgewater about 4 years ago, so we're still new to the town. I grew up in Randolph, and I think a lot of people from Randolph actually moved to Bridgewater. I'm a director of sales at the Residence Inn in Braintree, right next to Logan Express. And I've worked in sales for Marriott and also as a general manager for about 15 years now. And I'm just interested to getting more involved with the town now that we have kids. And I just don't feel like I'm that connected to the town. So I'd love to learn more about business development and things going on in Bridgewater.
Anybody have any questions for Julia?
Julia, you're applying for an alternate member.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to.
That was
educate-
just, yeah, I know that's a 1-year term, right?
Yes.
From what John said, yeah. And that was it, just, that was all that was available. So I thought I'd try that out and then see where that takes me from there.
What happened today was a person who had applied for one of the associate on the zoning appeals board. They're called associate members. And I'm not sure what the difference is between an associate member on the ZBA and an alternate member on the planning board.
Yeah.
Both of the associate member seats on the zoning appeals board are currently vacant.
Okay.
After I got that email from the person who was withdrawing their application, I thought that maybe we could discuss tonight that you might want to change your application over to the zoning appeals board, or we could recommend you for either and let the town manager make a choice. If
Yeah,
you
that
haven't
sounds
had
good.
time to think- If you haven't
Yeah.
had time to think, are you familiar with what the zoning appeals board does?
A little familiar. I've taken real estate courses, so I understand zoning a little bit, but I would definitely need more knowledge on it.
In a nutshell, they have two responsibilities. One is to either agree with a proponent or disagree with a proponent who is trying to get a variance from the zoning bylaw.
Yeah.
When they are successful, it's referred to as they got their hardship. In other words, the proponent has to prove if they aren't given the variance for the zoning bylaw, then they're going to suffer a hardship.
Yeah.
So because of that part of it, they are referred to in the town charter as a quasi-judicial appointed body. Because they have some legal stuff and that they do it in regard to that. In other words, they're authorized to make exceptions to the zoning bylaw. So that's why they're referred to as a quasi-judicial.
Okay.
Similarly, the Board of Health is referred to as a quasi-regulatory board because they can write regulations that are more stringent than similar state regulations.
Yeah.
So, and their other
And do you know how
responsibility-
Go ahead.
They're both pretty active. Both the planning board
Okay.
and the zoning appeals board meet quite often. They do have a fair amount of business. Them and the Conservation Commission.
Okay.
The other responsibility of the zoning appeals board is they are responsible for issuing the comprehensive permit for every Chapter 40B affordable housing project that
Yeah.
comes before the town.
Mhm.
There'll be planning board hearings and whatnot, but the bottom line on 40B projects, the go-ahead piece of paper is the comprehensive permit issued by the zoning appeals board. And I'm not sure if it actually says it in the charter, but I think it does. They're authorized to hire consultants to help them with that. Because
Make that
some of these
decision.
40B projects some of these 40B projects, can have a large impact on the town.
Absolutely.
So they're authorized and they have funding available to hire consultants. All that being said, are you still interested in that?
I think I guess I'd need to do a little more research. I don't know how much, like I do have a
Alright, let's-
full-time job, so I just want to make sure it makes sense.
Well, I'm
For
not saying
them
you
and
do-
for
I'm not saying
myself.
both, but, one or the other. Okay, overall, I guess the best idea would be, let's move forward with, considering you for appointment to the 1-year alternate seat on the planning board. That'll give you a taste of
Yeah,
how things go with one of the
Definitely.
most important boards in town. They are, very, very important board, as is the zoning appeals board. I had one question in relation to, the first, I think it's the first section of your resume. You refer to a private consultancy
yes.
that you have.
Yeah, so
Mm.
that's, God.
Tell us about that.
So Marriott, with all the limited service properties like Courtyard Residence Inn, Fairfield Inn, those type of properties require a training. And you need to be certified as an Access Edge coach, and I'm certified. So I would train sales, like last year I trained sales managers in West Palm Beach, and I would do this through Zoom. I would train them that way. And also recently, I've been helping consulting for some restaurants in the area due to the pandemic. For some, obviously, websites are very important right now for restaurants, online ordering, DoorDash, and so on. So those are the two that fall under the JMS consulting. But unfortunately, due to the pandemic, Marriott stopped all training, which makes sense due to funding. So I'm not doing any of that right now. And I don't know when that will pick back up again, probably a while, unfortunately, with the hotel business.
Is there any part of that consultancy which would cause concern for any dealings in Bridgewater?
No, it's actually, it's my brother's restaurant. He owns a restaurant in Cape Cod, but so Barnstable.
All right. That was, we do have to ask some tough questions sometimes about possible.
Yeah, if
conflicts
it would be a
interest
conflict
or-
of interest, absolutely, I could see that.
or disclosures or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't see
Mhm.
anything, you don't see anything in that regard in relation to your consultancy?
Yeah.
Okay. If I was to pronounce your last name, Santarcangelo, would I be right?
That was perfect, yeah.
Santarcangelo? I worked for a Carmen D'Angelo, so I had the back end of it. I had the back end of it down because of working for Carmen D'Angelo. Shirley, any questions or comments for Julia?
No.
Okay. Heath, can you still hear me okay?
I can. Julia, after 4 years of being in Bridgewater,
Yeah.
where do you see planning opportunity or planning miss opportunity in those 4 years that you've been around?
Like I said, I'm not really that involved with the town. So from what I think the residents in the Marriott that they built down the street was great. I think that's the first hotel in the town. But I guess I'm still new to all of it. So I know there's a lot of residencies. I know there's a lot of houses being built, which is great. But that also concerns me with the school systems and so on. So
How's business?
my hotel is actually okay, thank God. In Braintree, we're a long-term stay hotel, so we get guests staying, 30 or more nights. And we actually got a group of nurses staying with us for 50 nurses that stay with us for almost a year now. And we've been getting a lot of the, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie crews coming in to Massachusetts. We've gotten a lot of their film crews. So we've been very lucky compared to, the Quincy Marriott. That's just people stay one night. They've been like at a 5% occupancy. So sad. And the city's just down, the Boston's just drowning,
Yeah,
but hopefully it changes.
I started with Sheraton and I worked for guest quarters for a long time before I got into the law business.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's fun. It's definitely hospitality industry is definitely a fun industry.
yeah, you wake up, you can't go to bed and everything's different when you wake up.
Yeah.
It's not like you put everything on your desk, you leave, you come back, everything's back the same.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm happy I'm not a general manager anymore. That's, that's a whole different ballgame.
I don't have anything other, John. I think it's a. I think
Hey, I
she's
just
great.
wanted to take a moment to apologize to a member of the public who was in the waiting room. Pat Neary has joined us. I'm not too good with this Zoom stuff, Pat.
Oh, I think she's my
heard-
neighbor,
Yeah,
Pat.
I heard my phone ding and everything, but now Pat lives over on the Lakeside Drive.
Yeah, she lives right down the street from me.
Oh, I thought it was.
I live on
Lisa
Horseshoe
saying-
Lane.
Yes, yes, you and Pat are neighbors, yes. So Pat's on with us now, and if nobody else has any questions for Julia, all of these meetings, agendas, whether in person or by Zoom, are supposed to have a line item that where the public can ask questions or make a comment. So we have a member of the public with us. Pat, did you have any question or comment tonight?
No, I missed the earlier part of the interview you were doing because I wasn't admitted yet, but
No,
I'm
I
sure-
apologize. I apologize. I didn't look, I didn't see you up there in the waiting room. I'm not, see, the town manager's office has to start these meetings for me and then they hand it over to me. And I take it from there. It's being recorded.
Okay.
They also hit the record button and then Katie Rover can have her dinner. I don't know how
perhaps
many of
you
these
can,
meetings she does that for.
do you generally ask what the person's interest is in the committee?
We did
Oh,
ask
yeah,
that.
we've
She
done that,
opened
and
up.
again, I apologize. Yeah, and we used the statement of interest, which Julia provided. And we
Oh.
used the resume to ask any questions that we feel are necessary to make sure that we're looking at a good fit. And I think we've come to that conclusion. Unless you have something else, Pat, I'll move on with the agenda.
No, that's fine. I'll just try to figure it out.
Yeah, okay, well, we can talk later sometime, and I owe you that, so no problem. Julia, the rest of the process, and again, thank you for stepping up to volunteer. There are open seats on several of the 25 multiple member appointed bodies, that's what they're called. Boards, committees, and commissions, multiple member appointed bodies. And you're gonna fill an important one. The next step is that we take a formal vote,
Okay,
a motion, a second discussion, and a formal vote of whether to recommend you to the town manager for appointment. And that's what we do next. That's on our agenda right now. You're welcome to stay and listen, or you can leave the meeting. The next thing that will happen after that vote, and I'm anticipating a positive vote, is we write a recommendation form to the town manager. He then can either decide to talk to you also, or put your name on a future town council agenda in the next month or two.
okay,
Under item E, appointments on each town council agenda, your name will appear for ratification by town council. So, appointed by town manager, but that is ratified by the town council. And, and the occasional in the history of a negative vote doesn't allow the town manager to make that appointment. That's only happened, I think, once in 8 years, so. There's two ways to find out if you've been appointed. You can watch the future agendas and watch the meeting of the town council, or you can wait to get the letter in the mail from the town manager's office that tells you you've been appointed and that you need to stop at the town clerk's office and be sworn in. And
Okay.
she'll be very accommodating to you for that based on your schedule.
great.
And also, there's, all of us are subject to an annual little training session on the state website on the conflict of interest law. As you become, when you swear in as a member of the planning board or any of the boards, committees, and commissions, when you're sworn in, you become a town official. You are legally a town official, so therefore you are then required to take this little training session and get yourself a certificate. At the end of the session, you print it out. You can hang one on the wall in a frame if you want, but you have to turn a copy of the certificate into the town clerk.
Okay.
So she can put that in the file, that you have not only come to be sworn in, but took that training. I just got a notice that my internet connection is unstable. So unless you have any other questions, Julia, do I have a motion from a member of the committee to make a recommendation to the town manager to appoint Julia Santarcangelo to the alternate seat on the planning board? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
The only thing I'll say is, Julia, don't worry about that quiz. Just keep clicking the answer till you get the right one and move on. I studied for like 7 days and it wasn't.
Oh my gosh.
And he still couldn't pass.
Keep clicking and things will eventually turn green. Okay.
No
So,
other discussion.
all votes on Zoom are required to be roll call. I get a little lax and I just need a show of hands. All in favor of recommending Julia for appointment to the planning board on the alternate seat, please raise your hand. Shirley? Shirley?
She
raised-
did. She raised her hand. You didn't see her. She did.
Oh, she's frozen. Okay. Thank you, Shirley. The vote was unanimous. Is there any other business that any member of the committee would like to raise? You're just frozen on me. No.
I think we're good.
Okay, am I back on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you, Julia.
Good luck, Julia.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Julia.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See y'all.